Well, the nominations are now out for the 2020 Grammy Awards, and like there always is with award shows, there's some snubs, there's some surprises, and there's a lot to talk about. With the Grammys, I think it's really interesting that they often have better picks, better choices, truer, I think, reflections of who the quality in country music is for a given year than some of the big Nashville establishment award shows like the CMA Awards or the ACM Awards, where there's a lot more politics involved. In a lot of ways, I think it's easier for the Grammy voters, since they're not just based in Nashville, they're not in the groupthink of the town, to be a lot more objective about who they are picking. And so, whereas an artist like Maren Morris, who just won Album of the Year with Girl, might be a CMA favorite, that album wasn't even nominated for Country Album of the Year by the Grammys, and I think that's the right call. Similarly, there are a bunch of artists that might be making waves within country music, but you're not going to see them up for major awards at the CMAs or the ACMs. People like Sturgill Simpson, yeah, he's not going to be in the CMA Awards. In fact, he's going to busk outside of them, but his album will actually be up for Album of the Year at the Grammys. So I think the Grammys are useful because you can see what the broader music community thinks about country music of the past year, more than just what does the country music industry think about the country music industry. Last year at the Grammys, Casey Musgraves took away the night's biggest prize, which was Album of the Year for Golden Hour, and so country had a pretty big freaking moment. This year, however, there is very little country music representation in the all-genre categories, like Record of the Year and Album of the Year, unless you were to count Old Town Road by Lil Nas X, which is up for Record of the Year, and the album 7 by Lil Nas X. And guess what? I don't, because they're not, and so I would say there's no country music in those categories. However, there is one all-star from country music that is nominated for Best New Artist. Her name is Yola. I have talked about her on this channel before, and her great album, Walk Through Fire. She's bringing some country soul into the mix. I was really pumped to see Yola there. The only other country music representation in the major categories is the song Always Remember Us This Way from the A Star Is Born soundtrack. It was co-written by Lady Gaga and then major Nashville songwriters Lori McKenna, who I love, Natalie Hemby, who I love, and Hillary Lindsay, who I love. I thought it was really cool to see that in there, and I think it was such a standout track in the movie, especially given the fact that they were really pushing Shallow, but Always Remember Us This Way just established itself as the sleeper smash on that soundtrack. Outside of the major categories, there is a little bit of country music, or at least country music adjacent nominees flecked throughout kind of the folk categories and the American roots categories. Vince Gill, notably, is up for I Don't Want to Ride the Rails No More, which is up for Best American Roots Song. And then Yola's got a few different nominations, including Best Americana Album and another one for Faraway Look for Best American Roots Song. Those categories are confusing. Americana as a term is confusing. As we know, Tyler Childers has a problem with the term Americana.
As a man who identifies as a country music singer, I feel Americana ain't no part of nothing, and is a distraction from the issues that we are facing on a bigger level as country music singers.
And so some people would say, well, Rhiannon Giddens and I'm With Her, I think they're country, but they're nominated in American Roots. It just is what it is. Labels are going to enter people where they think they have the best chance of winning. And speaking of Tyler Childers and whether or not he was considered Americana, let's look at these country nominees, because we got some stuff to talk about. I'm just going to go category by category and we can talk about them. So first up, we got Best Country Solo Performance. We got All Yourn by Tyler Childers, Girl Going Nowhere by Ashley McBryde, Ride Me Back Home by Willie Nelson, God's Country by Blake Shelton, and Bring My Flowers Now by Tanya Tucker. It's really cool to see Tyler Childers nominated for a Grammy. You know, he has got to be the buzziest country artist that exists right now. I mean, Luke Combs, I'd say, has already become a superstar. I'm not going to call him some up-and-comer the way I think Tyler Childers really is. I mean, him and Sturgill are going on their arena tour right now, and they're actually selling out some dates, adding some dates. So Tyler Childers is here to stay. And you can just feel the swell of passion around this kind of guy from the hollers out in Kentucky that is becoming a big old star.
Long before we ever met, I made up my direction.
I love this song. It's got a way more Motown-y production on it, but I think it really works, and I think Tyler's voice sounds awesome on it. I think the balance of Tyler's snarl and twang and a little bit of crooning and even, you know, that standard Tyler Childers yelp that I always talk about, insert thicket.
Running through the thicket.
are all really well balanced on this song, and I love seeing that it got nominated. It's also great to see Ashley McBryde in this category. Girl Going Nowhere, that whole album is awesome, and this song specifically is such a mission statement for a new artist. Because it's the Grammys, because there's a big voting base, there's always going to be a lot of respect that is paid to some of the veterans of the industry, so Willie Nelson, and especially Tanya Tucker in this case. This was really Tanya Tucker's comeback year. She hadn't made a new album in almost 2 decades, and Brandi Carlile produced While I'm Livin', which has been a real comeback moment for Tanya Tucker, and she was certainly awarded with a lot of Grammy nominations. Whether or not that lines up with the kind of effect or the kind of splash she has made in country music this year, I think that could really be up for debate. There's definitely some nostalgia at play here, but Bring My Flowers Now, it's hard to deny that Tanya Tucker has an awesome vocal. Grammy voters are excited to have her back. You can't complain. God's Country is just a big old smash, and I think it sounds good too. But for me, I would say it's probably going to go to Tanya Tucker, but I would actually give this award to Tyler Childers. Then we got Best Country Duo or Group Performance. Brand New Man by Brooks and Dunn with Luke Combs. I Don't Remember Me Before You by Brothers Osborne. Speechless by Danning Shay, The Daughters by Little Big Town, and then Common with Maren Morris and Brandi Carlile. I mean, Common is the worst song on that whole album, and maybe they wanted to nominate Brandi for something, but that song's just not good. It's not fun to listen to or pleasant to listen to, and I don't think it's saying anything in a very profound manner. So, big no to that one. I also just think it's weird in general that Common is in this category when you have acts like Florida Georgia Line that put out Blessings, which was a really good song this year. Or you have Runaway June, whose whole album was great this year. And even other groups that I'm not even that big of fans of, people like Lady Antebellum or Old Dominion. It's just, it feels like a weird stretch to put Maren Morris and Brandi Carlile as a duo or group. Whatever. The Daughters by Little Big Town had a big social message about how we treat women in society, but I just don't think enough voters are going to know about it to win. For me, I got a pull for I Don't Remember Me Before You by the Brothers Osborne. I feel like that so deserved to be a bigger hit. I just think it's an interesting gray area of a song, and I've always loved it. But let's be real here. I think Speechless is going to win this. Speechless is a smash and a half. It crossed over into pop. So many voters are going to be familiar about it, and it is the most irresistible chorus, even for a snap track hater like myself. I feel like Speechless won everyone over, don't you? Okay, Best Country Song is the next category, and this is for the Songwriting Award. So we got Bring My Flowers Now, and I'm not going to read all the songwriters, they'll be on the screen, by Tanya Tucker. Girl Going Nowhere by Ashley McBryde. It All Comes Out in the Wash by Miranda Lambert. Some of It by Eric Church. And Speechless by Danning Shay. I thought It All Comes Out in the Wash was probably the biggest surprise in all of the Grammy nominations to me. Not that it's a badly written song and I have a reaction to it on this channel, but it's just, it doesn't feel like it has the gravity of a Best Country Song award winner at the Grammys, at least not to me. I really like Some of It by Eric Church, but I think it has to go to Girl Going Nowhere, right? I mean, this is Ashley McBryde's real mission statement as an artist that I was always told that I wasn't going anywhere. And I think the poetry of her saying, you know, where I've gotten in my life, it's not bad for a girl going nowhere.
Not bad for a girl going nowhere. We got it, guys.
Wouldn't it just be so nice to have that song win the Grammy for Best Country Song, especially coming right off her CMA win for Best New Artist? I think she deserves it. And I think it's an amazing song, and I think she delivers it so well. And then we got the big one, Best Country Album. And I think this is such a better list of nominees than the people that were nominated for Best Country Album at the CMA Awards. We got Desperate Man by Eric Church, Stronger Than the Truth by Reba McEntire. That is cool to see here. Interstate Gospel by the Pistol Annies. That was very cool to see here. Center Point Road by Thomas Rhett, and While I'm Livin' by Tanya Tucker. I'm sure you can tell from my tone that the one that I really don't think belongs here would be Center Point Road by Thomas Rhett. It's not that it's that bad of an album. I reviewed it in an album roundup a few months back. It's not that it's that bad. There's a few good moments on it, but I just think it's messy. I think it's way overly pop. I don't think it's a real representation of the sounds that make country music special. I think it's trying to be super broad, and thus it is a much less interesting record. I think it's very cool to see Pistol Annie's get a nomination. I think Interstate Gospel was quite overlooked by a lot of people last year, and it has real emotions and real pain, and I just think there's a certain sort of tough womanliness about that record that I really enjoyed. Stronger Than the Truth is full of great storytelling and real classic country sounds. I thought Reba took a real risk on that album, and I was glad to see it get a nomination. Desperate Man by Eric Church. You guys know I'm a huge Eric Church fan. I think it belongs here, and I think it should be here. While I'm Living, I would also say I understand why it's here, but personally, that album didn't really move me that much. I felt like it was delivered really well, and the production on it was really good, but I just didn't feel that much connection between Tanya and the songs that she was singing. Now, the people that I think really I wish could be here would be Randy Houser with Magnolia. It's very surprising to me that that hasn't gotten any Best Country Album nominations from anyone because it's excellent. And then I also think you could consider Midland's Let It Roll, which is this beautiful, beautiful kind of glossy country sound. I think you could put Tyler Childers' Country Squire in that mix, and even Aaron Watson's Red Bandana. Obviously, the first one I would swap out would be Thomas Rhett's album, but there is a capitalist element, like I keep saying, and that album is huge. Thomas Rhett's a big superstar, and that's going to be in the mix from the people that really just respect what he has built. Overall, I think the Grammys got a lot right this year. There's a lot of worthy nominees. It's so cool to see Eric Church in there, but it's even cooler to see people like Tyler Childers and Ashley McBryde and the Pistol Annies, and it's cool to see Tanya Tucker and Reba McEntire. They're not just kind of going with the flow, going with the big, Kane Brown and Luke Combs and Luke Bryan of it all. I feel like the Grammy voters are really being a little bit more critical, and that's awesome to see. So I like these nominees. I think there's a lot to be happy about, and obviously there's always stuff to whine about, and I'm here to whine. I'm here to whine with you. So leave me your whining down in the comments below, and there's a lot more coming up on the channel soon, so get ready for it.